It appears that the government is hell-bent on phasing out 15-year-old and above public utility jeepneys. That is, if the LTFRB would be serious on implementing the draft resolution of the Department of Transportation. To get more insights about the issue, we have with us this week on Motoring Forum LTO Law Enforcement Service Director Francis Almora. Good evening, Director Almora, and welcome to Motoring Today.
Good evening, Boots, and to all the viewers of Motoring Today.
Now, to begin with, phasing out of old and dilapidated jeepneys and those that are 15 years old and older has been a long-time issue in the country. What is the Land Transportation Office's stand on this?
The replacement or modernization of the PUG fleet is a concern of the Land Transportation Franchising Regulatory Board or the LTFRB. Ang amin pong for the LTO, we support or we implement the decisions of the LTFRB. So if the decision is not to register anymore units that are more than 15 years and above, then the LTO will follow.
Stop and Go, one of the transport groups in the country, recently held a nationwide transport strike because the draft of the Department Order of the Department of Transportation will deprive many drivers and operators of their livelihood. Can you share to our viewers this draft of the DOTR?
The draft of that order is also, again, the main agency concern is the LTFRB. Although the LTO joins the LTFRB in drafting the road rationalization policy of the DOTR, it is more of a concern of the LTFRB, and the LTO cannot comment on or cannot share it with the viewers.
On the other hand, FEJUDAP, or the Federation of Jeepney Operators and Drivers Association of the Philippines, is in favor of the phase-out. Its president, Zeni Maranan, said on one of our interviews that what they mean about it is not to totally eliminate those on the road, but to upgrade, which they call modernization. What is your take on this? And another point you made clear is that drivers and operators should still have a means of livelihood. How would you assure the livelihood of those that will be affected with the phase-out?
Definitely, the program of the government is not a phase-out in the sense that the present operators and drivers will be deprived of their livelihood. The intention of the government is to address the first, of course, we have the environmental concerns when it comes to our jeepneys that are fueled, that are using the fossil fuel and old engines. So this is one of the objective is really to make these jeepneys environmentally friendly. So it's not actually a total phase out of the jeeps and depriving the owners and the drivers the livelihood. So it's really true that the that phase out, that program, is not an actual phase out, and under the Traffic Crisis Act, which is being deliberated by the Congress and the Senate, there are provisions of the proposed law that will address compensation for PUG operators and social benefits for them.
Now tell us, do you have any partnership with private institutions with regard to the use and operation of electric vehicles?
At the moment, the LTO has no partnership with any private entity as to the operation of these electric vehicles. What we have now are issuances of the LTO regarding the registration of electric motor vehicles. This is what is being implemented by LTO, and recently Assistant Secretary Galvante created a TWG or an ad hoc committee that will try to address all the concerns about electric vehicles. We all know that there are more and more models of electric motor vehicles, like even buses. We have models of cars that are purely run by electric power. So this is what the LTO would like to proactively address at this point in time.
Thank you, Director Almora. And before we end, do you have any message?
For all of our friends on those that are the jeepney operators and drivers, the government is also working for the benefit of the sector. So the government will not just do any program that will deprive them of your livelihood. So we'll just wait until all issuances are approved or will be released, so we can really understand what is the intention of the government.
Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you, Boots, and happy motoring.
Director Francis Almora of the Land Transportation Office Law Enforcement Service with insights into the government's stand regarding the move to rid our streets of public utility jeepneys that are 15 years old and above. Our guest this week on Motoring Today's Motoring Forum.